so it's fine.
Take
But
another
then it
slow
usually
deep
picks up
breath
in September, and then it picks up again in October,
and
and
let
it didn't
go
really pick up.
even further.
I'm not in a bad place. I'm doing great.
And then
Okay,
imagine
I'm
your
not.
mind
Don't worry about me at
letting
all.
go.
But
Perfect stillness, perfect peace.
with the drop comes, you know,
You could imagine
like
a big, beautiful
I wouldn't
lake,
say like I'm a money. I wouldn't. With the drop, it
little
comes like
ripples on the
I have to ask
water.
myself some questions, and I wouldn't say that
It's
I'm
not
like a
perfectly
money hungry
clear,
dude.
but
But at the
as the
same
lake
time,
settles, the
I didn't have any
surface
money.
becomes still,
I didn't have a lot of money growing up, and
the
like
water settles,
my mom's college savings for
and
me
you
was
can
like
start to
$10,000.
see
I know
all the way to
people
the
don't.
bottom,
I know some people can't even afford to go to
crystal
college. I know
clear.
some people can't even afford to go to school. So I'm not complaining.
And just
I'm not
imagine your
complaining
whole
about my
self
situation. But that was the
settling
reality for me growing
into
up. That
perfect stillness,
I used my entire
perfect peace.
college savings to buy a laptop for college, and then I had to borrow
You can imagine tonight,
tens of thousands of
whenever
dollars
you
from
go
the
to
government,
sleep,
to
that
pay,
you'll
in order to
guide
pay it off.
yourself off into
I've
the
been really
most
lucky with YouTube,
beautiful
and
sleep,
YouTube allowed me to pay off
filled
my
with
student debt a few
positivity and
years ago.
kindness,
So, being,
giving yourself
27
the
years old,
idea
completely
that
paid off student debt,
you'll
a
have
bunch of
dreams
savings. I'm in a great place.
that
But
make
anywho,
you even more empowered.
the point I'm trying to make is,
All night long, your
um,
subconscious will be practicing you
I
being
basically
amazing,
was like, do I keep
feeling
just doing
great.
the same thing that I've been doing for the
Take some deep
past
breaths and imagine
6
sleeping
years, right?
into
Well,
the most
4 years I've been
beautiful
doing YouTube
feelings.
and streaming, right? Do I keep doing the same thing that I've been doing for 4 years and hoping that it'll get better again? And it's been good to me, right? Or do I try something new? And I just felt like it was time to try something new. So I stopped streaming. I haven't just been, well, I have been sitting on my ass and playing
And
video games
imagine
and just
if
like,
for the rest of your life,
vegging out
whenever it
and
was
stuff like
time to
that.
sleep
But I've also
or
been
relax, you just
looking
made
at,
it so
other
cozy,
ways to
so
make
lovely.
money, because I don't want to go get like a traditional
Every
job.
time
I
you
have to
relax,
fucking,
you imagine
working at
that
blah blah
all of
blah
your
and blah blah
wisdom
blah or whatever,
will be growing and transforming
So
in you.
hopefully someone else, there's someone still
Beautiful,
listening to that has
inspiring
something else to say.
dreams,
But anywho, so I've been looking at like stocks
awesome
and
thoughts,
like investing. I've been looking at
perfect peace,
lots of different stuff. I don't want to freak you guys out, but I have been looking at
practicing
cryptocurrency,
awesome feeling.
crypto, and the crypto market in general. And basically, yeah, just so like I said before, I'm not a money hungry guy, but I didn't grow up with money.
And you can scan your awareness across your body again. Feel every muscle. Feel the muscles that feel the best. And enjoy those nice feelings. And if you find any other muscles, just let them relax completely too. Some people in deep relaxation
And if I don't make a video,
feel like they're floating.
so
Some people feel like their body's expanding or disappearing. Some people feel beautiful colors flowing through their body. Some people feel waves of electric magnetic sensation. Some people feel themselves in touch with perfect enlightenment. The wisest, most wonderful being inside themselves, inside all beings.
Because I'm also not very confident that YouTube is going to last for me long term. So YouTube seems like less and less of a platform. And I know we say that stuff every year,
You could imagine that every time you go to sleep, you guide yourself off into the most cozy, beautiful, soul-feeding, heart-warming, beautiful relaxation.
So even if you're not in the
could imagine that every time you meditate, you'll let it be beautiful, heartwarming.
Think about that. If I was still in Korea,
You feel yourself learning that anytime you need to take a relaxing breath, you could remember a really beautiful feeling.
Korean taxes, maybe not. Maybe
You
I
could
get it twice.
feel
And then maybe
that
if I
your
stayed in Korea,
idea
my
of
career
yourself
would already be over.
at your core is this powerful, calm, centered, wise.
I don't want to wake up and be surprised.
And in a moment we'll start to come out of the relaxation meditation. But before we do,
With my pants.
just take a moment to remember the muscles tensing and relaxing,
So yeah, so basically I had to
the letting go more, the letting go more.
cut down on YouTubing or cut down.
Remember whatever nice feelings you felt. And then together we'll all take strong, energizing breaths. Maybe you already felt invigorated from that powerful breath. But take another one and feel your body being more energized and more invigorated. As you start to feel your body energized and awake and refreshed, also feel your mind empowered, free. Anything from tonight that it's shaken off, any thoughts or habits or beliefs from the past that didn't help you, that's just gone. You're self-empowered and awesome and strong. Take one more deep, empowering breath. And then bring yourself back into the temple. I know I've said it a few times tonight, the power of practicing every day, and I mentioned doing kindness meditation every day, how it gets more and more amazing, or breathing and mindfulness meditation, how you feel more empowered and more aware in so many more moments. And if you intentionally practice relaxing yourself deeply as you go to sleep, it's wild. It can retrain you that you can just sleep so well and so fast. And also, some of you felt that your body was tingling or expanding or some other wild sensations. Being able to remember those altered states of consciousness can take you into wild meditation faster and more powerfully. So yeah, practicing intentionally guiding yourself into deep states of deep relaxation is another thing I'd recommend doing often. We have a few seats up the front. Love to invite people to move forward. Come on, Anthony. Bye. It's been so great tonight to see that there were times where we didn't even all fit in the cushions. So a real honor to be sharing with all of you. And I want to reiterate again, I said before that I hope tonight there's hundreds of moments that could impact you about how we feel, about how we think about ourselves, how we deal with this situation or that situation, our attitude towards how we are there or our attitude to how they are there, how good we are at that, how bad we were at that. There's so many places in your life where bringing awareness can beautifully transform it. And my hope is that I'm giving you hundreds of transformations or sowing the seeds for hundreds or thousands of transformations. It's really what I'm trying to create in this experience here. And I know it did it for me. I had thousands of things I transformed. Each time I wanted to transform something, I wrote it down and I practiced it a few times a day. And looking back 7 years later over thousands of these cards, I was like, yep, that's me. That's me. Oh my gosh, when I wrote this, it seemed impossible, but that's me now. And so I know that we can completely transform ourselves to the point where it becomes natural and easy and wonderful with the things you want to make better. So I hope not only have I given you some things that have transformed, given you some things that you're going to transform, but also inspired you that you can imagine and think of your best self, free to imagine your most strong self, your most brilliant self, your most skillful self, your most professional leadership self. I want you to be free to practice being amazing in whatever parts of your life you want to. I also want to talk about the idea of self-image. So it's great to imagine being something better. And the more you imagine that, the more it will change your feelings, and it will change your thoughts and change the habit. And it will also sink in and change who you think about, how you think about yourself. But if we can actively also imagine changing ourselves, there's something so powerful in that. Now, some people are like, hey, I don't want to change myself. So actually what I'm proposing is that there are some habits and some emotional reactions that you might have cultivated, but I don't think they're the real you. The real you is who you choose. If you're choosing to be as amazing as you could be. So yeah, I guess I want to rephrase transforming ourselves into actually just being the you that you would really choose. And so often people will have this idea of, hey, I'm like this. I am these habits that I picked up. And what I really want, your self-image, is that you are whatever you choose, that you are empowered, that you are amazing. When you think of your self-image, it's all the ability to transform and practice, to be vibrant, to be amazing. Maybe 1 month you want to imagine your self-image as the most extroverted party animal, that wherever you go you're enlightening everybody and you make everybody laugh and dance. And then maybe next month you want to be the most serious, brilliant person ever. It doesn't have to be fixed, but I want you to feel like your self-image is awesome and able to transform. And when you decide you want to experiment with something, let yourself imagine as awesomely as you can. There's that saying, if you aim for the trees, maybe you'll reach the branch. But if you aim for the moon, even if you don't hit the moon, you'll be in outer space. And yeah, the same with when we envisage our life. I want us to be imagining being as awesome as possible. And not just for you, but people around you. So often we kind of constrain each other. You know, there are places in the world where you're not allowed to be too nice. And so everyone's like, you know, you can't be too nice. Everyone thinks. They might not even be consciously thinking that. They might just be feeling the pressure of it. And each time that you're nicer, you're a role model for niceness for all those people. And so you can transform that. And it's not just about niceness. How big your goals are, how excited you are, how positive you are, how much you dream that you can impact people, how good you are at sport. I know when I first started to trying to be positive, I was like, cool, I believe in brain programming, I'm going to make myself be really good at it. But then when I go out and play, there'd be another part of me that would be like, oh no, I've got to kind of just hold it back because, you know, I can't just be as awesome as I imagined. And then I noticed that and I was like, okay, no, actually, I want to be as good as I can because then it empowers everybody to play with as much fun and fullness as they can. And if you don't care about sport, think about how that could also apply to being expressive in your cooking or giving the best hugs ever or being as artistically as creative as possible. So I guess this section, what I've been trying to emphasize is two parts. Your self-image. Be the master of it. Create it. Notice it and shape it. That's the one thing. And the second thing I wanted to say is dream big. Whether it's making your diet healthier, why not choose that you just totally love healthy food and you just eat super great in a way that's just easy and fun? Or if it's, you know, I want to be a little more patient. You could actually choose, I'm going to be the most loving, kind, wonderful being the universe has ever known. So yeah, the two things in this section is being aware of the power of our self-image and letting ourselves dream big or be great or be free. And yeah, as Popcorn said before, as you express with other people, trying to do that skillfully, absolutely, but still try and be as great as you can. Zelda, was that something you want to share? No, not at all. I think you, like I said, you're keeping it real. So the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear this situation, if I go back to what I was just saying about imagining being our best self and applying that to everything. So what would the wisest you do when someone talks like that?
Maybe I should just tone it down a bit, but
let's
like
go.
you said,
Let's
just
go.
be
Finish
yourself
Doom.
and
Nice.
express
Finish
yourself
Sentry.
in the best way possible.
Fuck them up. Beat them up.
And
like
if people want to act negatively, let them. It's not your
So maybe
problem.
with those people, yeah, it's a call to try and figure out a different way of saying it. But please don't ever let that make you tone it down with other people. find the people who love that you're kind, and boom, you all get to be kind together. No one who holds us back should stop that from being like positive with all the people who love the positivity. But I want to come back to my question before. Your wisest self. Imagine you were super resilient. No matter what they said, you were calm, and you could just think, okay, what do I want to do now? How do I want to respond? How do I want to think about what they said? What would be the wisest you that you could respond? I don't need an answer right now. I'm just the question. The question to ask yourself, how could I respond internally that would keep me strong and awesome in that situation? Now, I want to point out to everybody, what I'm saying now isn't just how to respond when someone brings you down for being kind. It's this idea of when you think about your mind, or you think about yourself, your emotions, your life, everything about you, you just keep asking yourself, what would be the most brilliant way of being in that situation? Just phrasing that question, giving it some time, you're going to come up with awesome stuff. So, Zelda, I definitely want you to have time to imagine your awesome reaction to those situations. The stuff that comes to mind for me has been just the question of like, okay, next time how do I say it in a way they'll like? Or then there's also like, how do I laugh in response to be cool with them? There's also, I'm learning to be the most engaging person I can. I just like reframe it to be positive and helpful for myself. And
are we good?
I would love all of us to get to a point where no one can make you feel not great. That your inner strength and joy is unshakable. And if they say stuff, then you're just like, okay, well, how do I think about it and be better there?
60p, let's go, yeah.
But you know, if anyone ever does make you not feel great, we're all here for a virtual hug or to tell you that you're great anytime you need. I think you're great. And I love everything you shared tonight. The times we've hung out, every time, I appreciate you. I'm sure everybody here just wants you to feel loved and happy in yourself and awesome. Can we all send Zelda some kind of awesome, lovely emotion?
It's hard to really think about, in a way of this sort of concept, it's in that moment that you're put in that situation of having to think of something positive to do in return. It can be hard, because you don't know exactly what to say right at that moment, because you have to build up the confidence that you were shot down.
Zelda, I'm so glad that you're keeping it real. It's so good, because this is where the real enlightenment happens. You know, I can say these epic, awesome ideas, and if we don't bring it down into how do we apply it. So yeah, thank you so much. So I'm going to say again, if we ask ourselves like how to be as awesome as possible, and we have this self-image that will be great, sometimes you'll look into that part of you and you'll come up with something great. Sometimes that'll happen. Other times you won't. But instead of like thinking of the self-confidence shot down, you're thinking, okay, what can I do in the future that'll make me feel great and strong? And just by having that as your focus, you're going to think a whole bunch of different things. You're going to feel different in that situation, and your whole response will be different. And you might not come up with it for the first 5 times. And the 6th time you might try something, and some of them will be like, that's cool, and some of them will be like, that's weird. But it's like a step in the right direction. And then 2 months later, because you've been practicing that, boom, now you've got the thing you were practicing. And so, once you decide, hey, I'm going to transform some part of your life, whether it goes good or bad, I kind of suggest just ignore that and keep your eye on the prize.
Exactly.
I'm going to be awesome and I'm going to feel awesome and I'm going to make these great. And then that way, you're practicing, feeling awesome and making it great. Now I want to ask everybody, Zelda asked like a pretty tough question. How do we deal with stuff that's confronting or upsetting? The answer that I gave, does that feel like a good answer for you? And if not, I want you to ask yourself, what would your wisest self do? And sometimes it also helps to ask, what would the coolest person I know do? Or what would the wisest person, like one of my heroes, do? What would Benjamin Franklin do? What would the Buddha do? Because sometimes imagining how another personality would think or feel, it's easy, sometimes it's easier to imagine that mindset, and then you can start practicing that mindset. So I think Spicy Neko was next.
I actually did want to add on a little bit to what she was saying, maybe like offer perspective too. I definitely think, wow, that the more that one cultivates mindfulness for themselves, the more that you have pay like also cultivate like the choice in which you respond to like various types of stimuli. Sense. And it's like it's so subtle, but it really is a very profound thing. People be like, oh, I would have reacted this way. No, instead, this is for myself.
Now,
that subtle profoundness. It just kind of clicks and makes sense.
sometimes we don't even know the better reaction straight away. Sometimes it's just stop. And then you're free to like think of some reactions and then pick one. That's okay too.
The best example I could give is like, let's say you have like in my experience, like my father who tends to get like kind of angry, like he has a little bit of an anger issue. He doesn't want to get physical or anything like that, but you know, he's at and something really blah blah blah, you know, just gets into like a type of like it'd be like if you saw somebody do that like consistently, but then like all of a sudden you see them, you know, maybe they do something that will immediately like cause them to like respond in that way, but instead
there's like a mini delay from the chat stream. Yeah, I'm sorry guys.
Try it this way instead. It's so subtle, but once you understand it, it's incredible. It's really incredible. So, like I'm not even putting into words. I'm not even doing it justice.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you understand.
I've had passive aggressive sort of things that work when I was a teenager. And, you know, when you're first time working, you're nervous about, you know, keeping your job. So people of higher status will find their way to be manipulative and undermine you and stuff. You're a first time worker. So I was like, you know, overly kind, and I always said sorry way too much. And, you know, and then when I started looking at myself, I realized this, that I shouldn't say sorry because, you know, for being myself. they're always going to be in that mood, and then nothing I can do. I let it go, and I feel a lot better thinking that person.
Well, I hope that you can be super empowered and make those situations better. And I also hope you can find situations where the people you're working with want to help you thrive and that you're all helping each other. A good team, you deserve a good team.
Yeah, that was all in the past, but I'm just talking about my past life. But, you know, I still work on not saying sorry too much, because, I don't know, I think it's maybe a Canadian side of me, but let's have it be.
Just a little side note before Creek's point. Zelda makes a really good point, that just conditioned to just say sorry, but notice...
Nope. Oh no, he crashed. Oh. He was saying a good message too. Oh. Like, I was wanting to hear it.
Maybe you could temporary fill in.
Yeah. Creek. Sneak over.
Oh, I think
Alright.
You guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, welcome back.
That was super weird because I could still hear and see all of you. I've never had an experience like that before.
You were saying about something about noticing when you say something too much.
Yeah, I was saying that noticing that the words you use, like saying sorry, has a certain vibe, and then choosing to use different words changes how you relate. And it's not just how you speak to others, noticing how you speak to yourself, or noticing how you think to yourself. It's really powerful. And sometimes, or often, it's really good to come up with what's the other words you have. Like, just saying sorry might be hard, but deciding, hey, when someone speaks like that, saying thank you might be great. Or saying yes might just be the thing you want to do. So coming up with your alternative is powerful. And the same with how you think about yourself. When you see yourself trying to do something and you do it a certain way, and then maybe in the past you're like, I'm so bad at that. So instead you could be like, oh, this is how I want to do that. So giving yourself that alternative and practicing it is a really powerful thing. I'm just going to set up the camera for our last meditation. And how's that? Nope. 1 second. How's that? Eee, here we go. Alright, so I'm going to do some epicness now. Let me just check the time. Oh, we got 5 minutes. Alright, so I'm going to do an epic closing meditation. Quick, is it quick? And maybe internally they reciprocated it and they just didn't know how to say it. Cool. Alright. I set up tonight to be about epic meditation. transformative practices and enlightenment. So I wanted just to give us a couple of minutes to wrap it all up. So, everybody take a very empowered posture. Sit up, shoulders back, chest up. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. Quickly recap everything we did today. There was a deep meditation with the idea of being able to change your state of mind. Then there was a meditation on kindness and compassion, being loving for all beings. There was a meditation on mindfulness, being able to notice where your attention is and how you're thinking and how you're reacting in each moment. There was a deep relaxation showing us that we can wildly change how we feel. We did deep peace, but there are also meditations on ecstatic happiness and wonderful joy and confidence. So I just invite you to imagine that you've mastered all of these, being truly self. You have a self-image of an enlightened being. You think of yourself as someone who can practice and feel and be anything. When you think of what you do and how you are, you're a gift to the world. You're a being of joy and of love. Every day. Burn 'em, burn 'em. How much money I be making, I'ma burn 'em. Burn 'em, I'ma murk 'em. And if they playing with this fire, I'ma burn 'em. Murder, it's a murder. Disrespect us, I'ma spark it, I'ma burn 'em. And I'll be searching, I'll be lurking, I'ma hurt 'em. And all these bridges that I'm building, I'ma burn 'em. Burn 'em, burn 'em. Taking time to practice being aware and stepping back, being free, practicing being loving, practicing being awesome. It's precious. Give yourself that gift each day. See yourself as this enlightened being. Eye on the prize, love it, feel it, live it, see it more every day.
Never killed a nigga, but I'm ready to spit a hollow right on a person. And the curse, I'm about to merge on a nigga's turf. I'ma let a nigga burn, burn, let him burn. And these pussies better learn when I pull up, I'ma burst. Make a nigga see stars, finna leave him on a curb. Burn him.
And as we finish the meditation, we all stand. Just dedicate this session. The time you took, appreciate it. Look around you. As we practice it, it helps the whole community. People here who've been practicing semi-regularly or regularly, you heard their stories, how helpful it was. Let's all practice and have beautiful stories for one another. Let's make it even bigger and brighter and more enlightening. So as we leave one by one, as you bow to the enlightened being at the back of the room, I want you to deeply and truly find the enlightened being within you. Bow to that. Be that. Have that moment and feel it. And then when you come out, bow to the crowd. Feel like Team Awesome all together.
Yeah, but you don't have to pay. That's the good thing. Like, you can watch me on YouTube and Twitch without paying. Obviously on Twitch, also on YouTube, you have to deal with ads. But oh wait, actually no, you don't on Twitch. I disabled the ads, so you should only get an ad when you first join the stream, and then after that you shouldn't get any ads after that.
Burn 'em, burn 'em. How much money I be making, I'ma burn 'em. Burn 'em, I'ma murk 'em. And if they playing with this fire, I'ma burn 'em. Murder, it's a murder. Disrespect us, I'ma spark it, I'ma burn 'em. And I'll be searching, I'll be lurking, I'ma hurt 'em. And all these bridges that I'm building, I'ma burn 'em. Burn 'em, burn 'em. How much money I be making, I'ma burn 'em. Burn I'ma serve them. Spinning on a block